Well, thanks very much for joining the call. It's just after 9:30 now, and I just want to get started because I'm very conscious of all of your time. And I said sorry again about the kerfuffle with the conference call. Next time I'll make sure we've got it sorted beforehand. I did try, but it just wasn't having it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Emma Sneddon. I'm a presidential marketing director with the Juice Plus company. I've been with the company, in comparison to some of these guys, I'm just a baby in nappies still. I'm just in my 3rd year. It's been the best 3 years of my life for a number of ways, but this call's not about me. Was so privileged to be joined by over 150 years worth of network marketing experience in the Juice Plus company on this call, and that's what I wanted to do for you guys, because you'll be aware over the last 2 weeks we've done the corporate tour with Simon Bowler, so a lot of us have been at a lot of those events. John and I did pretty much all of them, bar one, I think. And the events where we had some of these guys along who've got over 20 years experience with the company were just mind-blowing for me I know these guys personally, and I've got so much respect for the fact that because of the things that they've gone through and the steadfastness they've had over the last 20 years, they've made it easy for us really to just come in and feel totally secure in this company, feel totally secure with the product, feel totally secure in the future that you've got here, because people talk about the benefit of hindsight in business and in life, and in this company with these guys that you're going to hear from tonight, you've got that benefit of hindsight. Everything you'll ever go through or experience with this company, they'll have been there, done that and bought the t-shirt, and they're there to support you, and they've been very, very supportive to me over the past 2.5 years, and for that I'm extremely grateful. So I'm going to hand over to firstly to James Sanderson. James, can you just unmute yourself, please? Let me just... I'll do it if I can't. I'm done. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Hi.
Hi. Can you see me?
I can certainly see you.
It's funny, I'm normally hosting these things, so it's kind of strange being the other side. But anyway,
it's very, very privileged to have you with us, James. Thank you very much. I'm going to crack on with the questions so that we can get the most out of the 5 minutes that you've got.
Yes, of course we can. Yeah.
I'm just going to make sure everybody's muted because there's a little bit of background noise. So what I'll do is mute everyone and then I'll unmute you again. 1 second. Okay, cool. So, James, thanks very much for joining us. Can you just tell everybody, how long have you been with the Juice Plus company for?
Yep, I've been with the company for 27 years, and I first saw it in 1987 in Dallas, Texas. So we're actually, I'm actually almost up to 30 years since I actually saw it. So it's been quite extraordinary.
And what's your journey been like? If you can tell us in like sort of 60 seconds, what's the journey?
Yeah. Well, my journey has always been exciting. I nearly quit after my first year because I just felt it just wasn't working. But my sponsor fortunately said to me, he said to me, James, you cannot fail, you can only quit. And I chose not to quit. So I just kept going. And through a process of learning, applying myself, going to the conferences, then suddenly things started taking off. So, it's always been fun. It's always been exciting. It's been frustrating at times. But now we're coming into the most exciting time I've ever seen. It is a dream where we're at now, an absolute dream.
And what level are you at the company now, James?
PMD.
PMD, of course. And what is it about the company that's made you stay for so long?
Well, okay. There are a number of things. The first thing, obviously, is the product. So I absolutely love the product. Within a very short period of time with Juice Plus, I gave it to a friend of mine who had very bad eczema on his hands. And within about a month, that had gone completely. So that completely convinced me about Juice Plus. Although, obviously, I was already involved with the company sort of 5 years before that with the previous product range that we had. So the product is key for me. Loving it, believing in it, having a passion for it. I absolutely love the product. The second reason I'm in is because of the company. The company is utterly outstanding. 45-year-old company. Before the end of the 1970s, they'd already turned over $100 million. This is their third or fourth product incarnation now, Juice Plus. Most companies would never even get beyond their first. So it's hugely impressive. Jay Martin at the helm, he's a genius. And I have the utmost confidence in him and their ability to not just keep going, but to make it better and better for us. And I've met them all, and I can see that they're utterly committed to us, which is, you know, it's pretty rare. So I'm very impressed with that. The third thing that I absolutely love about this is I love the people. Now, what you tend to find in Juice Plus is that you find people that are very motivated and energized, but you don't kind of find people that are really sort of like awkward, unusual. Everybody is attracted to Juice Plus. I really love that. Most people that come into our business, pretty much all of them, have never been in this type of business before. And again, I absolutely love that. We're not entertaining travelers from other network marketing businesses. We are just wholly our own business and with our own character and our own culture. And I love that. The other thing is the personal growth that I've had with the business has been phenomenal. The learning from my upline, the learning from my partners, downline, you know, it's been extraordinary. Being constantly, you know, exposed to amazing learning. And then the mission that we're on. That's the thing.
Absolutely, it's perfect, and I totally agree. So what's your vision for the future, James? And what would you say to somebody who's just starting out in their first 3 years with the company?
Yeah, well, my vision is to empower as many people as possible to live the superbly best life that they can by having, you know, looking good and feeling good from within. That's my whole mission, is to help everyone discover what they can do for themselves by looking good and feeling good from within. In terms of what I would say to someone who is, you know, just in for 3 years, I would say your success is inevitable. You cannot fail, and the company will never let you down. The company will cheer you, and we will all cheer you every step of the way. And I absolutely love that. I love that sense of camaraderie. And I love everything about who we are. I'm so proud of everyone.
Brilliant. Thanks. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much. I'm just going to move on. I'm going to move on. If you could just mute yourself. I'm going to move on to Derek Brunt now. I'm just going to find you, Derek, if you're there. I'm not even sure if you are, actually. Let me have a look. Don't think Derek is on. Okay, so Gordon, I'll whiz over to you if that's okay. Unmute you.
I'm here.
Mute yourself. You're so self-sufficient. Thank you so much for joining us, Gordon. And similarly to James, I know that you've been with the company a long time. So could you just tell us, how long have you been with the company and what's your journey been like?
Yeah, I've been with the company now for 24 years. I joined on the 19th of September 1991. My background was accountancy. I was invited to a meeting. The person that came along knew I was health conscious. But because of my background, I was very interested in the business model. And what I saw, in 3 to 5 years, 40 years worth of work and earning the same amount of money. And that was the vision that I had when I came from the meeting. And the journey that I've had, you know, it's like life. It's an amazing journey, and it's been something that I've realised my dreams. I now get paid from 20 of the 27 different countries that Juice Plus operate in. The internet now knows no bounds. So, you know, we are only really a telephone call, an email away from actually speaking to people that we can inspire in terms of, as James said, you know, the healthy living mission that the company have actually got.
Brilliant.
You're moving around, Emma. Where are you?
I know, because the internet connection wasn't great, so I'm sitting in a dark room, but hopefully people will be able to hear better. Okay. Thanks, Gordon. That's brilliant. So what can you explain, same as James really, can you explain why you've stayed for so long? Like, what is it about the company and the product that's made you stay?
Well, I mean, several things in terms of, the company. I mean, the culture of the company. I mean, we say flippantly that, the Juice Plus company is the company with the heart, but it is a company with a heart. And that's one of the things that have actually kind of inspired me over the last 24 years. And, the fun, the friendship, the freedom that I've actually enjoyed over those 24 years has been phenomenal. And not least of all, I met my wife within Juice Plus. So, that's been one of the highlights of my journey along the way.
I bet it has. I've no idea why we're looking at Debbie Smallman's screen. Debbie, if you accidentally shared your screen, can you unshare it? Because everybody's looking at your screen now. Thank you. And I'm like torch light. I look like I'm on the Blair Witch Project, but at least you can see that it's really me.
It's Halloween night.
Yeah, indeed. So Gordon, what's your vision for the future, and what would you say to somebody who's just starting out in their first 3 years in the company?
I mean, my vision for the future is that I've always believed that we were on a crest of a wave, and the actual kind of explosion within Juice Plus was going to happen when we had a groundswell of people, and I believe that that's actually happening now. We can only get bigger. I think there's no better time to join the business at the moment. If I was to give a couple of bits of advice to the people that are joining and that are on the call, create a vision for yourself. Set yourself a 3 to 5 year game plan, and know what you're doing. Get yourself a mentor, a sponsor in the business, and take out all that massive action. Learn the skills for what we have to do. You mentioned, Emma, I think I was at 3 of the events that you were at. You were at the events, attend the events. That was the thing that kept me in the business. I attended all the events as much as I could. And the other thing is just take out massive action. The action is the thing that actually propels you within this business. And get excited about what you're doing. This is a very exciting business, very exciting time. And, I'm still excited. 24 years later, I'm excited. My eldest son and my youngest son have both joined the business. I've got 2 more to kind of recruit into the process. But, that's what's exciting me. I see a younger generation coming on. And I hear from people like yourself, Emma, and, our business is secure and safe with people like yourself. So, yeah, I'm excited about the future. Another 24 years, hopefully.
Hey, there's no reason why not. And that's what I love about it. Is when I've done 24 years, you'll be done 48. So, bring it on. Thank you very much, Gordon. I really appreciate your time and your words of wisdom there. I think really key to that is, setting yourself a 3 to 5 year game plan. And you couple that with what James Sanderson just said about, you can't fail in this business, which I think those 2 things together are so key to helping you to understand that, with this company and with this product, you can't fail because you've got people like this who've gone before you to show you what's possible. So thank you, Gordon. I really appreciate your time. Carol, I'm not sure if you're there. I can see that you're on the call, but I can't see you. So I'm just going to try and unmute you. And if not, we'll go over to Alex Webb. Let me just see if Carol is there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi. Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, I can't see you, but that's okay.
No, I don't know.
As long as I can hear you. That's okay. Thank you very much for joining the call, Carol. I really appreciate it. So obviously we were together in Bristol at the back end of last week, and it just struck me particularly at that event, how important it was for everybody to hear from you guys and that have been in this business for such a long time. And can you just tell everyone, how long have you been with the company, and what has your journey been like so far?
Well, I've been with the company for 8 years now, and I've actually been a customer for 11 years. So when I was introduced to the business, I was already really happy with taking the product, didn't know a great deal about what it was. My journey, what has it been like? It's actually been life-changing. It's been probably one of the best things I've ever done. I've got some absolutely amazing friends. These are friends that will be, my friends for life. It's changed me in lots of ways, and I think we can all change. However, we probably don't realise we can, but it has changed me. I've had, my ups and downs, like Gordon was saying. It's not, straightforward, but that's life. and this is where I believe that you develop and you grow as a person. So yeah, definitely recommended.
Brilliant. Thanks, Carol. And I love the fact that you were a customer for such a long time before you became a distributor.
Yeah.
It goes to show you that you look after your customers and they'll become your best distributors in the long run.
Absolutely.
So you've been with the business, obviously a customer for 11 years and with a distributor for 8. What has made you stay all that time?
Well, when I was introduced to the business 8 years ago by Derek, I'd already been in business, self-employed from the age of 18. So if I add up now, I'm 63, I've been self-employed for 45 years. And when I looked at the business some 8 years ago, I did my own research and I looked at the company. I really, really did. I went into the company and I looked at all of the goods and, you know, what was going on there with the company, how long they've been established, etc. I then looked at the product range to see what I was actually going to be dealing with. I looked at the credibility of the product, the science, because that again was really, really important to me, because I'm going to be sharing this product and this company or this business with people, and I needed to know for me that it ticked all the boxes. And then finally I looked at the marketing plan and decided, yeah, you know, there was nothing else out there that I could see at that time 8 years ago that could come anywhere near this, and I still firmly believe that now.
Brilliant. So that I think is really important for people to understand, you know, why people stay with the company for so long, because people generally don't leave, people join and stay, and it's for all of those reasons. So what's your vision for the future, Carol, and what would you say to somebody who's just starting out in their first 3 years with the business?
Well, I'm really excited about the future. You know, even though I've been in the business for 8 years now, I'm extremely excited about our future, because we all know that fruits and vegetables are never going to go out of fashion. And you've only got to look at, you know, every time you put the radio or the television on, or pick up a magazine or a newspaper, you know, health challenges are massive, and they're not going to improve unless we start taking ownership for our own health. So what I would say to you guys is, you know, the most important thing you do is you have your why. You've got to know your why, your reason why you want to do this business. And over the last 3 days, we've had Damien Brennan over here in the UK with us, and we've been talking a lot to people about their why, and it's been amazing what we've heard. The second thing I would say is you need to build solid foundations. It's no good thinking, you know, that you can just build a business very, very quickly and expect it to stand the test of time. It is about building that foundation like you would if you were building a house, you know, an apartment block. You must put those foundations in. And again, you need to make sure that your orders consist of a lot of capsule orders. Customer care has got to be second to none. It's so much easier to keep a customer than it is to find a new one. But again, for me, training is key. You know, there's loads of things, just personal development stuff you can do online, you can read, you can listen. You need to educate yourself, continue to learn and enjoy it. And I suppose finally, just remember that, you know, if you're going to succeed in this business, it's up to you. It's also up to you if you fail. Nobody else. This is your business. And just enjoy the journey. It's fabulous.
Fantastic, thank you. I totally agree about looking after your customers. I think that's absolutely crucial as well. Okay, so thanks very much for that, Carol. I really appreciate your time. Alex, I'm going to come over to you now. If you're there, let me unmute you. Alex Webb, here we are. Unmute. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, great. Yeah, I'm just going to find you on my little screen. Okay, so Alex, I know you obviously the best out of everybody, but just to tell all the guys, you know, how long have you been with the company for, and what has your journey been like?
Okay, well, I've been with the company now 25 years this year, which is nuts. I mean, it's gone so quick. Previous to NSA, I was a hairdresser. I was brought up in kids' homes. I then became a hairdresser. And that was the best thing. I mean, I did very well as a hairdresser, but my future was an old barber. And I was worth more. There was something, I mean, I created something in hairdressing. I knew I was worth more. There was something inside me. Luckily, somebody came along and offered me this opportunity 25 years ago. And to be truthful, it is totally and utterly, we hear people say it changed our lives. Well, listen to my story. I was a dyslexic Rastafarian hairdresser. You know, I've got a business now that has lasted 25 years. It's brought my kids up. You know, my kids have got a great education, which is something I never had. You know, I was able to see them go to school, bring them up. And now one of my daughters now is in the business. You know, it's like what you can offer to people in this business. It's great. I mean, I'm very simple about things. You know, I haven't really read that many books. I haven't done this, that, and the other. But I just know there's a code out there, which is the universal law of averages. If I'm nice to you and I help you, somebody's going to help me one day. And I think if we just use that code, you know, be truthful to the universe, it comes back at you in bounds. You know, I mean, I could write books about this if I could write and read so really, really well. I could bang them out. But, you know, this is all in my head, you know, but, you know, it's just to try and give people a bit of what has happened to me. Personally, I think it's possibly the most exciting thing that I've ever done in my life. Number one. Number two, possibly the most challenging thing I've ever done with my journey in 25 years, my personal journey and my Juice Plus journey as well. You know, to actually be with a company 25 years later and look down the line and see how many people you've touched who've done better than you. I mean, that's the bit I dig, is when people do better than you. My sponsor, Shay O'Brien, lives in Los Angeles. He said to me, Alex, get everyone to get a bigger check than you. And I didn't understand that at the beginning. Why should everyone earn more money than me? And he said, Al, if you do that, they don't need you to become independent. That means that you can go and do something else. And I didn't quite understand that. But guess what? I worked really hard for the first, I would say, 8 years in the business. And when my kids started growing up, I was able to have nearly 10 years off on passive income from this company. I mean, that is nuts. You know, unfortunately, I split up with the kid's mum, but I was able to support that financially. I couldn't have done that any other way. I couldn't have paid 2 mortgages. You know, I couldn't have, you know, had 2 cars. You know, I still look after Maddie now. I mean, she will probably, I hope she's not listening to this, you know what I mean? But, you know, she's not moaning about a new car at the moment, you know, but I'm able to actually do that and say, you know, to my ex, yeah, you're still running my kids around. I can go and get a new motor for you. And to be able to do that sort of thing is great. You know, you know, it's nuts, you know, to bring your kids at over 10 years, take them to school and have, you know, watch all those, you know, when they're doing the theatre every Christmas and they're doing the, you know, the nativity. I mean, I've seen all that. I've filmed all that. And I look around and I just see, I see very few fathers that have actually experienced that. And to me, that is possibly the diamond in the jewels and everything that you can actually get out of this business. But to take it a stage further, I think we've got somebody else on screen.
Okay, you carry on.
Yeah, to take it a stage further, I mean, we talk about the future. 25 years, if I would have had the information and the stuff, and I say stuff that you guys have got right now, I'm telling you, I don't know what I would do with it. It's so exciting, and I'm very basic. I'm basic George. Anyone who knows me, I'm basic George, right? I don't try and be a big philosopher or chemist or anything. You know, I know it's fruit and veg, and I know an apple a day keeps a doctor away. Well, if you add a bit of kale to it and a bit of this, guess what? You're gonna have something nice, and it's all good stuff. So I have no problem with the product. You know, I've been on it for 23 years. You know, and I feel great, and I think I look okay as well, which is not bad. You know what I mean? But taking it to what do I see in the future? I see people going to a totally new level, and the reason why is because we've now gone into a totally new business. The business when I first started is not the business you're in, like you guys are coming in now. You're coming into the 20th century cyber business. And that is something that, you know, I mean, I can just about get my head around it. You know, I'm 61 years old. I'll be 62 in January, and my life is insane. You know, what is happening in the UK right now with the Rhino movement, and you know, it's happening now in Germany. It's duplicating in my business in Germany. I've got a PMD coming through who was struggling 3 years ago, is now exploding. And guess what, guys? We're at the future. We've got India. I mean, India, come on, guys. China, Hong Kong, all these places are going to be opening up over the next 5 years. The tools that we're going to have are going to be amazing. The videos that we're going to have are going to be, I mean, you at the end of it, you're going to go, what was all that about? And it's going to say Juice Plus, because it's going to be subliminal. It'll be subliminal. We don't have to smash it in people's heads. All we got to do is say at the end of it, that was a nice experience. I really enjoyed that, Juice Plus. Guys, you've got no idea what you're stepping on to right now. The next 5 years is going to be insane. Seriously, guys.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, and just to close, what really turns me on in the business, and I've got it written down here, right, so I don't forget, seeing people succeed like me, that had no qualifications. I should not be sat here talking to thousands of people. There's no way. Me, I'm an hairdresser. But with this opportunity, I'm having an open mind and having the most amazing sponsor ever in the world, who guided me through thick and thin, through upset, downset, whatever you want to call it, set. Yes, I've been there, guys. And I'm saying you right now, is this a company that you should stay with? Well, my life is better at 61 than it ever was when I was 32. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks,
Alex. There's a load of all the girls on the chat think you look amazing, by the way, so I'll pass that on to let you know everyone's saying it.
Thank you, guys.
And I couldn't agree with you more either in terms of what you said about, you know, you wanting people to be more successful than you, and you wanting to share everything that you know with people. And I know certainly on behalf of me, Katie and John on the call, that for us, you've certainly done that for us. And yeah, you're an absolute legend in every sense of the word. So thank you very much for joining us. Right.
Guys, you've done that for me as well. Don't forget.
You too.
Thank you.
Right, Katie Ravey, let me come and find you in a minute. I'm just going to mute Alex first. You can probably unmute yourself, actually, Katie, if you've done it.
Hi,
Hi, babes. How are you?
Yes, really good, thank you.
Good. Looking cool. Right, okay, so you and John, I'm going to move on to now. So you guys, in comparison to, so we've already heard from 88 years of the Juice Plus company in the last 20 minutes or so. So in comparison, you know, you guys are at the start of your Juice Plus lives, really. So what has the last few years been like for you? And what's your advice to someone who's just starting out in their first couple of years with the company?
Oh my gosh, I mean, there's two huge questions in there, really. And, you know, I've been involved in the business now officially for 4 years and active for 3. I didn't really do anything for a year. I was confused on what I was doing and where I was going, but I just knew that it was right, and I just kept plodding along with it. And I was stuck at STD for a year, and really struggled to find an identity with myself and with the company. But there was something in my gut feeling that I knew that this business was going to take me somewhere that I've never ever thought I'd dream I would ever go to. So I just stuck with it, really. And the past couple of years have just been a complete and utter whirlwind. And I mean, like, I'm in the United States right now, just having 3 weeks out here with Luke and just having the time of my life. And I wouldn't have been able to do that a few years ago. I was working in an office as a 9-to-5, office worker, as a manager, and I was twiddling my thumbs probably this time during the day. I mean, what time is it over here now? It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd be asleep underneath my desk right now. A few years ago. I was so uncertain of the future and what I was going to do. And the reason why I was working where I was working with my dad was just for a bit of security, really. And the jobs that I've had over the years, I can't count on the both hands that I have, on the both feet that I have, the amount of jobs that I've had, because I was always looking for something which gave me significance, that gave me a reason, that gave me a purpose to get up every single day, that gave me everything that I wanted, that I could help people, where I could inspire people, where I mattered, where, like I said before, I had that security. And I was always jumping from job to job to job to find that. And that's what Juice Plus gives me, and I'm in control of that, which is the most important thing as well. I'm in control of my future. And, you know, if I don't get up and work one day, then that's fine. But if I get up and work the next day, then I'll work twice as hard. You know, we've got such a unique opportunity where we can design our own lives how we want to. You know, I can get up and leave and go wherever I want to in the world and still work from my mobile phone. I mean, I couldn't do that working in the family business, you know, as much as I loved it. And bless my dad for taking me on. But it just wasn't satisfying what I wanted in life. And, you know, what it's given me over the past few years was so much more than just money and fancy shoes and fancy clothes, but it's given me a family which I never had, the friendships I've never had, the experiences that I never ever dreamed of having. It's introduced me to people that I would never ever could imagine. I mean, just one scenario was meeting Luke, for one, and secondly, seeing a guy called Neil who's just completely and utterly changed my life over the past few weeks, where he's done some body work on me just by simply pressing on the roof of my mouth. It's completely got rid of all my aches and pains that I've suffered with for 10 years. You know, it's just the connections that you have with people over you know, because of Juice Plus, that can introduce you to so many amazing people. And, you know, we're just so blessed to have this in our lives. And I don't think people realize the severity of this company and what it can do for people. They just need to wake up and think, oh my God, what have I got on my lap? Because it's incredible. And for me, it's about travel and seeing the world. I didn't see much of the world when I was younger. So now I'm making up for lost time. I don't have a family, so we have the luxury of going to wherever we want to and working from our phone and, you know, enjoying ourselves at the same time and having a balance of working hard and playing hard every single day. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. So just in 60 seconds, what would so someone who's just starting out now in their first couple of years, maybe going through that little, you know, the start at the beginning where it feels like you do a lot that you don't get paid for, maybe, what would your advice to those guys be?
I mean, what you do now is what you get paid in 2 or 3 months down the line. So you're not going to get paid for it tomorrow. You're not going to get paid for it in a week's time. You're going to get paid for it in 3 or 4 months. So don't think that you're going to get results straight away. Keep at it and keep going and stay consistent is the biggest example I could give, because I was so on and off with it with my first year, and being confused is what happened to me, because I was so on and off with it all the time and I was stuck at the STD position. And then the turning point for me was deciding just to adopt the effort attitude. I won't swear, but the effort attitude is really what got me going in the business and going, do you know what? F what everyone else says, F what everyone else thinks. I'm just going to do this and not care about anything else or anyone anymore. I'm doing this for me and I really want to help people. I know this product is going to change people's lives and nothing's going to get in my way. So just thinking with that attitude and being consistent every single day with a daily method of operation is what is going to change your business and ultimately change your life. And that's the biggest kind of gift I could give to somebody when it comes to advice, is just stick to those 2 principles. You know, build that belief, number one, and just stay consistent with your daily method of operation. Even if it's 1 hour a day you're building your business, stick to that 1 hour every single day until you make your goal, and I promise you will get there.
Perfect, thank you, and brilliant advice as well. I think the consistency piece is one of the hardest pieces to understand when you first start, because you can kind of think, right, Monday and Tuesday I'm on it, or you come off a Zoom call and you're dead keen, but then 2 days later it's like, oh, no one's liked my Facebook status, so I'll start again in a couple of days. You know, every single person who's been on this call, from the 30 years in to, you know, Katie's 5 years in, and that's what those guys have done. They've always been consistent about their approach. So thanks very much, Katie. I'm also going to bring on now, the last speaker is John Holowati, who is Mr. Consistency himself. I've never met anyone who's more consistent in his approach than John. So let me just see if I can find him if he's not already unmuted. John, you still there?
Yeah, how you doing? You all right?
I'm great, honey. Thank you so much. I know this is about your 17 millionth Zoom call of the day, Mr. Consistent. So I know you're one of the hardest working people that I have ever met, but also, you know, you know how to play hard too. So as I said to Katie, you know, you guys, in comparison to some of the guys I've had on the call, you're only really just getting started. So whilst you've had massive success, which you totally deserve, you know, we're only really in nappies compared to some of these guys. So, you know, what's the last few years been like for you, and what's your advice to someone who's just getting started now?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head where you said, like, you know, 2 years in, you're still in nappies. Like, I'm out of Pampers now, but I occasionally still wet the bed. So, so what I mean by that is that I'm a toddler in the business. So 5.5 years in, you know, it's been amazing, and I'm just loving every minute of it, more so now than ever, to be honest with you. I got involved, I was, you know, always ambitious, always been ambitious, but I never really thought that I could achieve what I wanted to achieve in the job that I was in. So what I would get everyone else on the call to do is think, is what you're doing now going to give you the life that you really want and you really deserve in 2, 3, 5 years time? You know, this is a 5-year game plan, guys. You can flip it and start to gain some real momentum in 90 days, but you've got to be consistent. And that was for me 2.5 years ago, where I saw a bigger vision. I went to Dresden, 6,000 people. It was all in German. I didn't really see that much of the convention, but I saw enough to realize that this was the vehicle that was going to change my life. Not only my life, but my family's life and the friends and the people that I brought into the business as well. You know, you've got to work hard at anything you do in life. You've got to work your butt off, whether you work for someone else or you're in this industry and with our company working for yourself. And, you know, for me, there's been ups and downs. It's a roller coaster, but that's the fun part of it. You know, you grow most when you're having the rough times, when you struggle, when you can't seem to get your business off the ground. But then when you hit that success, you celebrate like you've never celebrated before, and it's all worth it. So, you know, 5.5 years later into the business, what's mad is that, you know, kind of like Katie's story, I always wanted to travel. I always wanted to do cool stuff, drive nice cars, have nice properties, go to cool places. And that was what I was building towards. And this summer I was able to go and spend 6 weeks in America, spend a month in California with my brother, while our house was being completed while we're away. So most people, moving house is like the most stressful time of your life. But for me, I was just like, I signed the papers and I disappeared off to America, came back and we moved into a brand new house. It, like the lady that sold us the house couldn't believe it. She was like, no one ever does this. It's insane. And people are like totally confused about what we do. You know, they don't really believe or don't really understand how amazing this business is, to be able to go to America for 6 weeks and get paid every single day while you're there. So, you know, the money's great, obviously. For me, the friendships and the relationships beat the money every single time. I've got some amazing friends in this business, and, you know, been on an incredible journey, and people have taught me so much, not just my uplines, but also my sidelines and people that are in my organisation. And I just want to say thanks to all the legends that are on the call tonight, you know, Gordon, James, Alex, Carol, because you're the guys that inspired me and people like Katie and Emma and everyone else on this call to see what was possible. You created the blueprint for us to come and evolve it a little bit and make it more Gen Y. And, you know, it's insane what you guys have done. Without you sticking it out, we wouldn't be where we are today. So massive respect for that.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, John. So I'm going to close it there, guys, because I'm very aware of everybody's time and I want to respect your time. I hope that you feel as inspired as I do now by listening to those guys. I mean, to be surrounded by people who've got 20 plus years experience with the same company, who've got massive passion for the product, massive passion for the business, massive passion for you guys, whether you're in their team or not, you know, they want the best for you. And I have never, in like 15 years of corporate life, I never came across that in any company that I ever worked with before. And I don't think that you get that very often. We're called the company with a heart for a reason. And I'm so excited for your future. I can see what's ahead of you, and hopefully now through those guys you can see what's ahead for you guys as well, because you can have anything and everything that you want from a health perspective, from a financial situation perspective, from a relationship perspective, from an optimistic outlook on life perspective. You can have all of that right here with the security of knowing that there's people who've done that before you and people who are doing that every single day right now, and you can do and be anything you want within the comfort of a company that's got a 45-year history and has got your back all the time. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited and inspired. I'm going to leave you guys to get on with your evenings, but thanks very much for joining us. And as I said, the call's recorded, so I will post the link in all the groups and out to everybody. But thanks very much for joining us, guys. Bye.